Hi guys, Jordan here. So I made a really big mistake in this tank. So today I'm going to be talking about what that mistake was and how I fixed it and how I replanted all the plants in this tank. So I bet you're wondering why I actually trimmed all the plants in this tank and replanted. Now, it kind of goes back to me using an old test kit that was wrong. The test kit was saying I had 10 to 18 parts per million of nitrates. And in fact, when I used a new test kit from NT Labs, the good one, I actually had no nitrate. I wasn't dosing nitrogen in my fertilizers. So therefore, all the old plant growth, all the old bits of the stems were all dying. They were all yellow leaves, and this was causing excess waste organics, and I started noticing a tiny bit of algae here and there, and it was just going to cause me a lot of problems in the long run. So I kind of just decided to bite the bullet, trim the plants, replant, and go from there. Now, to do this trimming, I trimmed the plants really low, like to the substrate level, so I only had little tiny stalks left. And then I removed all the trimmings, put them in a bucket to the side. And then I did like loads of water changes. Like I think I did like 6 or 7 water changes throughout the whole process, because there was a lot of like dead plant matter or waste organics floating about. You make a real big mess when you're trying to do this. So I guess the next step after trimming them really down low to the substrate level is that I had to remove the little stalks and the roots as well, or they're just going to grow back. If you are actually wanting to keep the same plants in the same location, you can actually just trim it right into the substrate and then just replant the tips and leave the roots in there, because they will grow. But I wanted to kind of swap up, change the plant selection in this tank. So I decided to remove all the roots and all the little stalks as well. So what I did was I got the tweezers in there, ripped up all the plants, all the roots, made a really big mess, and the substrate came with it as well. So I decided to replace a tiny little layer of the substrate as well. So after loads and loads of water changes, I replaced the path with a new kind of gravel sand, cleaned up everything a wee bit, and added loads of bacteria, because I'm sure I'd have set the balance off. So that's definitely a good thing to do when you do so many water changes or you're disrupting the biological balance. Make sure you're adding a wee bit of bacteria back in through I use Aquatics, like all the bacterial products from them, such as Therapy, Special Blend, Aquapure, things like this. And when I was replanting, I was just using 2 species. I used some of the old plants, some of them, reused the tips and replanted those. But I tried Rotala Green, which is what I actually meant to do in the first place. But when I made this tank, I couldn't find it. And I also trying a new one called Rotala Yaoye, I think it's pronounced. So yeah, I've planted those in, and I've planted them quite densely, and hopefully the tank will grow in just better than it was before, without any problems, because I'm dosing nitrogen this time. Hopefully I have no problems in the future. And over here you can actually see I've actually put a new shrimp guard on. I used to make my own shrimp guards, but the black kind of rubber heat shrink tape I wasn't really feeling it. So I thought I'd get like quite a lighter, more neutral thing that can like blend into the tank a bit more. I'm not sure, but I did replace that as well. So I guess you could use these kind of tips if you were wanting to revamp your tank and you kind of just don't want to put new substrate in and totally rescape it. You kind of like the hardscape like I do in this tank, and you just want to replant. So yeah, you can definitely just trim down to the bottom and replant the tips. Take it all out, do loads of water changes, change the plants up a wee bit. Definitely very much possible. And I guess hopefully this video showed you how to do so. So I really hope you find it helpful, and if you did, then give me a thumbs up and comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, thanks for watching.